Eddie said FSG have let us down with signings before. Well, there we go. We're kicking it off in this regard. So let's get stuck into that. On FSG, right? I had a really interesting bit of analysis put to me earlier on by somebody around FSG and the future of Liverpool Football Club. And one thing that struck me from this information was that they're getting a little bit agitated with having to put money into Liverpool Football Club. Now, Liverpool Football Club have increased in value since they took it over for about 300 million, 400 million, including the debt that was on the club at the time from Hicks and Gillette. And it's now worth somewhere up to about £4.5–5 billion as a club. But they don't want to be putting money into the club. They want the club to be self-sufficient for one reason, because they're going to make their money at the end game when they sell it in the valuation. So they want Liverpool to be breaking even. They want Liverpool to be spending what they make so they don't have to fund it and they can just get the money when they sell the club down the line. So I don't know what that means for this summer's transfer market, if anything, but when you read the stories and you see the articles that suggest that they're getting frustrated with having to prop up Liverpool Football Club, it's not a great start. But as I said, that's just a piece, that's just one set of analysis. But what happens in this summer's window remains to be seen. But let me say one thing. Liverpool have by far the lowest net spend on transfers of the big six by a country mile. I think we're ranked 10th in the Premier League in that regard. So they might be fed up with it, but I tell you what, us fans are certainly fed up about them not putting their hands in their pockets and backing Liverpool and the manager. So they best do it this summer. And to that regard, I think this is going to be the make or break window for Liverpool fans that are in any way on the fence about John W. Henry and FSG. And by the way, Echo, you love ignoring Anfield Agenda, but you basically robbed one of our lines for their article. Does this sound familiar to you? I'll just read out one paragraph. And where's the Verts money, John? They start off with, where's the Verts money, John? That's a line that may well be doing the rounds on Liverpool social media. I wonder what handsome bastard came up with that little phrase. Anyway, sorry, I digress. That sounds like Glazernomics. Scary. I mean, we'd all love to buy something, wouldn't we? Not have to actually put our own money into it and it to just shoot up in value at an astronomical amount, which Liverpool have, to be fair. So I don't know what it means for this transfer window, but again, it just doesn't exactly fill me full of confidence when you've seen pieces the other day suggesting FSG are reinvigorated and ready to go. I just hope that the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight, from a positive standpoint, of which there is a lot, comes to fruition. Because what we don't want is more of this similar situation. Liverpool are looking at Verts. Liverpool expect Verts to go to Bayern, but if it doesn't happen, Liverpool will be there to pull the trigger and try to do the deal. Have we heard that before? Yes, we've heard it many, many times. For me, as a fan right now, I don't want to see us hovering around players that we're not 100% sure about or haven't got a perfect plan in place for. That's what this last year was for Hughes and Edwards and the recruitment team. To make sure that they knew exactly what way we were going to progress in this window and start striking off those targets early. So let's wait and see where the priorities lay. But it's all very well and good us getting excited about Florian Wirtz, but I'm tired of getting excited about a player and then seeing them swan off elsewhere. So one of these big links has to be proven true at some point for FSG, or once again we're going to be feeling frustrated. Jordan said, imagine having to prop up a 5 billion asset that you got for 300 million. Must be fucking terrible. And do you know what though? Part of it, the moaning in the piece I was talking about, was about the 200 million they had to spend or loan Liverpool for the main stand. So they're moaning about most of the money that they're owed by the club to increase the value of their asset by the extension that they funded. It just makes me despise them more and more as every single window goes by. But I'm open to a positive window in this one, and let's see what happens, because there are lots of interesting stories. Rusba said, we should be focusing on competing with Europe's elite squads, Madrid, Barcelona, PSG, by spending more. One of the reasons players go to Madrid is they keep winning the Champions League. Liverpool should start winning Champions Leagues again. Well, if you look at Barcelona and you look at their squad, a lot of that squad is made up of prospects brought through at Barcelona that they've managed to keep. So if you look at Madrid's, it's a lot different, isn't it? It's a lot of players running down their deals who leave late, or a lot of young players who are brought in for transfer fees that were pretty high but with low wages. The ones that I like to try to compare Liverpool to are Bayern Munich, in my mind, because we're very similar, I think, in stature, in valuations, in income, and they're the type of clubs that I like to look to. So, Craig, do you think that the owners not giving us any money for players is punishment for the Super League? No, I just think they're cheap. Look, there's two ways you can look at it. For somebody like me, who's very much frustrated with the owners, my argument is we have the ability to spend money. Don't talk about football finance and debt as a dirty thing all the time, because it isn't. And there are many, many, many ways to run a football club. And the way that they choose to run it is the cheap-ass way to run it. I.e., they want Liverpool to generate all of its own money. They don't want to front load any money for signings or anything like that. They want us to be self-sufficient. And to do that, we've got to obviously keep increasing revenues. And we've done that a lot. And to be fair, to their credit, they have done that a lot as well. They've given us a lot more commercial partners. They've given us a lot more consistency with regards to European football in the Champions League. But as a fan, my pushback to that is, what's the point of all of that if we're not seeing the benefit in the transfer market? And that's been my argument all the way through. We've always heard about the great Nike deal, the Adidas deal, the Husqvarna deal, and all these other deals that we've had. But we've never seen that backed up with serious spending in the transfer market. And we keep getting told about the wages, the wages, the wages, the wages. But again, it's all just an excuse. An excuse. The owners can spend money if they want to. The football club have a huge, huge gap before they get to any PSR problems. And if they don't choose to spend it, again, it's a choice. Just, if you take one thing from what I'm talking about, just keep that in your mind. If they choose not to spend it, it's a fucking conscious choice. It's not because we don't have the ability to do it. And that's why I've always said that this summer is going to be the make or break for them. They either put up or they're going to have to listen to a lot of us complaining a lot louder, because you can't get ghosts through another window. You can't keep... We've actually started weakening our squad, if you think about it, from the perspective of the players that we're not replacing. The Gini Wijnaldums, the Joel Matips, players that just aren't being replaced in the squad. So they can't keep doing that. They can't keep pissing away money on the likes of a Chiesa who the manager doesn't want. They need to just be proactive, and we've been promised that this was going to be this window. So let's wait and see. Luke Belton said, I've got too much PTSD from previous transfer windows, man. Same. Every year I tell myself the same thing going into the windows. Don't believe it. Don't buy it. Don't open yourself up for the hurt. Stick to your guns. You know you've been right most of the way through. And more often than not, as I've said, I have been proven right, that they just won't pony up the money. But I'm open to it. I want it to be the case. I want to be wrong. I very, very much want to be wrong.